The room went quiet the moment the SEAL captain asked the question. Any combat pilots here? It wasn't meant to be dramatic. It was almost casual, tossed into the air like a last checkmark on a clipboard. Still, the words landed heavy, echoing off concrete walls stained with old oil and newer fear. 42 men sat on folding chairs inside the forward operating base hangar, shoulders squared, eyes tired, weapons resting against their knees. Every one of them had been shot at. Most had lost someone. Not a single hand went up. At least, not at first. In the back row, half hidden by a stack of supply crates and a broken drone, a woman slowly stood. Her name was Captain Mara Hale, and she had learned a long time ago that standing up could feel more dangerous than flying into enemy fire. The SEAL captain didn't notice her immediately. He was already turning back toward the map projected onto the wall, jaw tight, finger tracing a red circle around a valley that had become a trap. Intelligence had failed. Weather had turned. Extraction windows had closed. His team was pinned down with dwindling ammunition and no air cover. Then someone muttered, "Sir, there is." The captain turned again. Mara was still standing, flight jacket zipped, hands relaxed at her sides. She didn't wave, didn't clear her throat. She simply met his eyes, calm and steady. The room shifted. A few brows lifted. A few smirks appeared and vanished just as fast. One of the younger operators whispered something that earned him a sharp elbow to the ribs. The captain studied her like he was trying to spot a flaw in a weapon he didn't trust. "You?" he asked, not unkindly, just surprised. "Yes, sir," she said. "Combat pilot, 12 years, fixed wing and rotary." "What are you flying?" he asked. "Whatever still has fuel," she replied. That earned a couple of quiet laughs, but the captain didn't smile. He stepped closer, eyes scanning her patches, her stance, the faint scar that disappeared into her collar. "You're not on the roster," he said. "I wasn't supposed to be," Mara answered. "I'm ferrying a damaged bird out at first light. Or I was." The captain looked back at the map, then at her again. "This isn't a ferry run. This is a hot valley with layered anti-air and no clean approach." "I know the valley," she said. "I flew Overwatch there 3 years ago. Lost a wingman on the eastern ridge." The room went completely silent. The captain exhaled slowly. "Why didn't you raise your hand sooner?" Mara paused. The honest answer pressed against her teeth, sharp and bitter. "Because they never expect it. Because you learn to wait until the moment matters. Because standing up too early makes you a target." "You asked," she said instead. "I stood." The mission briefing resumed, but it felt different now. The captain adjusted routes, asked questions he hadn't planned to ask. Mara stepped forward, pointing out wind channels, blind spots, places where radar lied if you knew how to read it wrong. Skepticism slowly gave way to something more dangerous than trust, hope. By nightfall, the decision was made. Mara would fly. The aircraft was older than some of the men she was going to save. Its skin bore the scars of previous wars, patched and repatched like a veteran who refused to retire. As Mara climbed into the cockpit, she rested her forehead briefly against the cool glass, breathing in the familiar scent of fuel and metal. She thought of her father, who had taught her to fly crop dusters and told her the sky didn't care who you were. She thought of the instructors who'd tested her harder than the others, and the ones who'd quietly supported her. She thought of the voices that said she didn't belong, and the louder ones inside her that said she did. Then the engine roared to life. The valley greeted her with darkness and fire. Tracers reached up like angry fingers, and alarms screamed warnings she acknowledged without panic. Her hands moved with practiced grace, adjusting, compensating, trusting instinct honed by years of loss and survival. On the ground, the SEAL team listened to her voice crackle through their headsets. "Eyes on you," she said. "Hold tight." She flew low, lower than doctrine liked, lower than comfort allowed. The first pass drew fire away from the team. The second cleared a path that hadn't existed minutes before. On the third, her aircraft shuddered, a sharp impact rattling her teeth. "Birds hit," she reported calmly. "Still flying." The SEAL captain clenched his fists, watching the sky. "You don't have to." "I know," she cut in. "I'm coming around anyway." When the extraction finally came, it was messy and loud and far from perfect. But every man made it out alive. Mara landed on fumes and stubbornness. The captain was waiting when she climbed down, helmet tucked under her arm. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The hangar filled with noise as adrenaline burned off and reality settled in. Finally, he extended his hand. "I asked a question," he said. "You answered it." Mara shook his hand, her grip steady despite the tremor in her arms. "You weren't expecting me," she said softly. He met her gaze. "I will next time." As she walked away, the weight she'd carried for years felt lighter. Not gone, but lighter. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stand when the room expects you to stay seated, and rise when no one thought you would.